Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. Tonight from East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, it is boys basketball as East Brunswick hosts J.P. Stevens in a Red Division game. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder, being joined by Phil Hill. And Phil, tonight's game is against a J.P. Stevens club that is 0-16. How do you get up for a game like this?
I've been accused of hyping games up, but I tell you, Bohannon and his club better be careful. Nobody wants to play a team that's 0-16. They're obviously hungry. The fact of the matter is this team has lost several games at the buzzer. They played a good North Brunswick team on very even terms, and they were leading Serval into the fourth quarter, so I wouldn't take them very lightly.
Right, and of course we've seen times when East Brunswick has gone into a little bit of a lull, and they can't afford that tonight. Let's look at East Brunswick, though. They've had some rather tough games. We're getting close to the tournament times. They've already qualified for the states, and they should get a good seed in the GMC. But what are we looking for from this East Brunswick team right now?
I think we're just looking for them to put it all together. We have seen spurts of it, and the word intensity comes to mind. They have to be an intense team. We talked about it before. It's very difficult to do that when they have so little depth. But that's their game, and that's the type of game they're going to have to play. They're going to have to let it all out on the court, suck it up, and get back ready for the very next game. But if they expect to do something in the county tournament, they got to play East Brunswick-type ball and go after the other teams.
Okay, well, before we have tonight's game, we're going to have senior night festivities. So we're going to take a short break right now, and we'll be back with those in just a moment. All right, we are back at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, where East Brunswick's boys basketball team will host J.P. Stevens in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division game. Before we begin the action, you see some cheerleaders and parents and Frank Knoppenberger directing traffic, the athletic director, supervisor of athletics, Phil.
Yes, he is. Always a big night, Jim. Senior night. This is for the last time for the parent, for the youngster, along with the parents, to take some bows.
Okay, well, it's kind of a tradition here at East Brunswick for the seniors and their parents to be tributed, and they have certainly contributed to the success of the basketball program. So we're going to attempt to announce the parents and the members of the cheerleading squad and the basketball team as they come out. Our apologies if we get a little bit out of sequence here. All right, so first up here is Betty Denberg, who is the mother of Marcy, being presented with a rose. Close to Valentine's Day. Okay, Nadine Bennett, and this is her daughter, Melanie.
And I'll tell you, always a nice touch, Jim.
Right. We should add that there's supposed to be another home game here, so this is not the final home game of the season. And this is Robert Van Heusen, who did a fine rendition of the national anthem before
he certainly did.
We came on, presenting a rose to the cheerleading coach. This is Deborah McSweeney, and her daughter Christine presents her with a rose. Now we move on to the boys basketball team. And for some reason, I don't think the boys had the idea of giving the roses here. But Bo Henning is presenting the rose to, and I'm going to apologize, I don't have this on my...
It's one of the managers.
Yeah, one of the managers, okay, fine, and well-deserved. This is Brad Caruso, I know that.
And what a performer he's been. Brad, MVP 3 times at Churchill.
Right, and that was Debbie and Joe Caruso. This is Bill Varela, and to Mr. and Mrs. Bob Varela. That's his wife, Ellen.
Just a hard worker.
Dave Vangerud, Anita and Don Vangerud.
And we've said enough about him. Just a tremendous season, senior year.
And Key Seymour, presenting it to his father, Mr. J.L. Seymour.
And I'll tell you, just the hard work, and his father is probably one of the best runners in all of New Jersey.
Well, okay. Ron Rosenstrauss, congratulating, how do you pronounce that, Gila or Gila?
I guess so. I don't know,
Okay,
Jim.
and Edward Rosenstrauss.
He's a National Honor Society student.
Okay, Kevin James
And,
presenting the rose to Sonia George.
and I tell you, Kevin has been one of the really steady forces all year. Done a nice job at the point guard.
And Michael Tresca presenting a rose to his father Frank and mother Marge.
And Captain Treska, what can you say about him?
Right.
For several years, he's done just a fine job.
And you hear John Emery, the PA announcer, making some remarks. And I think that's going to conclude the ceremony. So what we will do is take a short break, and we'll be ready for the tip-off in just a moment. All right, we are back for the starting lineups introduction for East Brunswick versus J.P. Stevens. You see players getting lined up here. All right, first we'll take a look at J.P. Stevens. Number 3, Frank Powell.
Just a junior. Frank Powell, the leading scorer for the...
Gary Lamb.
Another junior.
Jamil Davis.
Right.
A sophomore.
Right.
Okay. Let's see who we got here. Jamil Davis, we mentioned him. All right, Brad Caruso, number 55. All right, Derek James was the one we were missing for. It's J.P. Stevens. Kevin James, a senior. Brad Caruso.
I'm sorry.
Dave Vangerud, a senior. Okay. We'll be set to go here in one moment as I attempt to write down numbers, which I did not have. Be with you in a minute, Phil.
Okay. This should be an interesting game, particularly for Coach Randy Westerl. What he has said, Jim, is that he's counting this as a 4-game season here, and that the rest of the season will be the tournament. After all, the counties are an open tournament.
Right, and that's significant because it gives a team such as J.P. Stevens something to shoot for.
Right.
The Greater Middlesex Conference Tournament. Now, the preliminary games will be played on the court of the higher-seeded team, so it is very, very possible that the Hawks could wind up playing either the first or second seed. Could be St. Peter's. Well, actually, top-seeded team. I don't know who might that be.
We can talk about that, Jim. I got a few thoughts.
Because
no clear cut.
Piscataway's taken a little fall, and maybe perhaps the team we saw a couple games ago there, St. Joe's.
Could be St. Joe, St. Peter's, whipped up by CBA. So
right. All right, the tip-off to begin the game is by East Brunswick and Tresca with an easy basket. And you know, I've been so used to seeing teams like Linda and St. Joe's just off that tip-off, the quickness of East Brunswick is quite evident against this team. So I'll have to watch that. All right, for the Hawks, this is number 3, Frank Powell. Falls off the rim, and Tresca comes down with the rebound. And the Bears will, as Phil mentioned, trying to move the ball. Caruso had an open lane.
Shot, 2 open.
Yeah. All right, Powell with the ball.
And the Bears in their traditional man-to-man defense right now, Jim.
And they can well afford to be in that. Number 31 is Gary Lamb. 13, Davis. Lobs it inside and batted away. And this is Kevin James with it.
No call.
No, it was some contact there. Varela. Treska, 3 points.
Ooh.
And he starts off hot.
Well, you know you don't want to start that.
not with Mike Treska, one of the streak shooters for this team.
6 for 7 one day and hit 5 against Linden.
So it's 5-0 East Brunswick. 6:35 left. And there's a shot and good by Gary Lamb. Make the score 5-2 in favor of East Brunswick. Varela to Treska. Vangerud, but he kicks it out to Kevin James, who has an open shot.
And James wide.
Rebound handled by number 22. That was Mike Smith. Shot, good? No.
No basket before.
Well, why did he wait?
I know.
Why did he wait on that? I don't
And Randy
understand.
Westrow, the coach there, is saying, come on, give us a break. You blew the whistle and we followed through.
Okay. All right, official did not even signal who the foul was on. So a little bit of brain lock here for a second.
And we have number 13 at the line. Jim, you have a number?
Fouls. All right, now they don't know who it. All right, we're going to have it posted on the scoreboard. Phil, you were saying something?
Okay, I have his,
right.
Jamil Davis is at the line.
All right, Treska is the one that's charged with the, not Treska, Kevin James, apologize. And Stevens moves the ball around on the inbounds. Smith. Quite deliberate is Stevens. Lamb, bounce pass in.
A nice back door, which won't go.
Right, that was Jamil Davis. Treska drives, doesn't find anybody to hand it off to, finally gathered in by Caruso. Varela from out 3. Off the rim, Vangerud with a nice rebound. And East Brunswick will set up again. 5:25 left to go in the first period. 5-2 East Brunswick. Well, they're going to charge Treska for traveling.
It appeared that he kept that pivot.
He sure did.
Still, Jim.
He sure did. He didn't move it. More a reaction call than anything else. So the action a little loose here to begin with.
And bodies are flying in there.
Yes, they are. And the ball's lost.
And I'll tell you, J.P. Stevens, the Hawks, just a young team. Certainly not the typical Hawk team we're used to seeing. When you see the Hawks, we used to think of Tony Newsom and players like that, and they've fallen off quite a bit.
And if you know who number 5 is, please let me know. Because I don't. All righty. Treska misses on the 3-point attempt, and our mystery player here is with the ball, drives, and James picks up his second foul.
And what happens a lot of times, Jim, is you got away uniforms, home uniforms, and away uniforms.
Correct. Ball is inbounds, but it goes off with Gary Lamb, so East Brunswick will inbounds.
Okay, they tell us that Shaquan Lane is number 5.
Okay. And James has to be a little careful now with 2 fouls. Stevens made a couple of nice adjustments, and now they're not getting those inside back doors like they did before. Caruso, looks like he slipped on that shot, Phil. Treska, though, gathers it in and won't go. Vangerud with a nice rebound. He's been strong under the board so far.
Strong under the boards, goes back up, and he is fouled. 2-2.
Coming in for Stevens is Jerron Crawford, and for East Brunswick.
And that foul on Mike Smith, number 22 for the Hawks.
Mike Smith was the foul. And Rosenstrauss comes in, as does Brian Schuler. Vangerud shooting 2. Misses. Remember, he was a hot foul shooter, Phil?
I'll tell you, the captain Captain of the soccer team not putting that one down.
This game does not have a flow to it whatsoever. And the second one by Vangaroo goes off the rim, but Treska with a rebound. 5-2, 4 minutes left to go in the first period. Vangaroo, errant pass.
And it really hasn't been a pretty game, Jim. Early on, the Bears know that the Hawks aren't a particularly good team, and you would think that they'd be a little looser, Jim.
All right. So you have substitutions once more. Lamb looks it over. That's Powell.
Good movement there by the Hawks, and it's stolen by.
So we have a transition right here. Bounce pass goes off Treska.
I'll tell you, strange action. Rosenstrauss came up with the steal there, but then the Hawks got it right back.
And so J.P. Stevens will inbound under its own basket. Lane looks for somebody to pass to. Launches it out there to Powell. Powell sets up and made the first one, but a good rebound, but Vangaroo comes down with it. What do we got here?
They're saying the Hawks knocked it out of bounds. No foul was called, and East Brunswick will retain control.
3 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the first period. It's still 5-2 East Brunswick. Not a lot of points scored in this first period. And you got to wonder, you can't let a team like Stevens hang around like this,
That's
Phil.
for sure.
Treska 1-on-1, almost batted away. That is Seymour in the game, Phil.
Ooh,
and
offensive foul.
Right, and a good call by the official.
I'll tell you, call Rosenstrauss on the offensive foul.
He never had position.
And Rob Genatelli, the official from East Brunswick, making the call.
So we have not seen too much of Keith Seymour, maybe because he's a senior?
Keith Seymour is a senior. Bo Henning talked about him, said he's an excellent kid. He'd like to get him more time. Keith a little distraught about the playing time that he has received, so Bo has him in there.
Pass from Treska to Vangaroo doesn't connect, but the ball goes out of bounds off Stevens.
And I'll tell you, 2:20, Jim, and 5-2. It's a very strange first quarter.
I'm going to hold judgment on something that I was thinking about right now, about this being maybe the worst quarter of basketball I've seen in quite a while, but it's not over yet. Rosenstrauss open, won't fall.
Powell with the rebound.
Yeah, nice rebound too. And he set, you know, he's not afraid to shoot it.
I'll tell you,
He puts it in.
Gotta like this young fellow. He's the leading scorer for this Bear team.
And he makes the score 5-4. And Seymour pulls up.
And he thought he was fouled. The official says no.
Lane to the lane.
Shetland Lane puts it down, and the Hawks take the lead.
Wow, 6-5 with 1:44 left to go. Like I say, you can't let a team like Stevens hang around. Schuler back out to Seymour, sets up for a shot, won't go. Phil, do you want Seymour shooting like this? Wow.
Won't go. And here comes Seymour with the ball.
Rosenstrauss to Kevin James. Powell hanging tough on the defense with him. Phil, I don't see any scorers out there for East Brunswick. I think that's the problem. Treska's on the bench. Vangaroo's on the bench.
Caruso's out there.
He's about the only one that's a regular scorer. Ball almost slapped out. And we are under a minute with J.P. Stevens leading 6-5. Kevin James. Schuler, nice pass inside to Rosenstrauss.
Good dish.
And East Brunswick takes the lead once more, 7-6, with 40 seconds left to go in period number 1. Remember, Stevens is winless on the campaign, 0-16. East Brunswick is 12-7, I believe. Powell, inside pass, nice one too.
Okay.
And that was Jameel Davis on the score. And Stevens once again takes the lead, 8-7. East Brunswick holding for 1. We are under 10 seconds.
James with a nice move.
Caruso, 3-point try, hits it. And that'll do it. Ball is shot from a long distance, and the score after 1 period of play, East Brunswick 10, JP Stevens 8, and it'll be interesting to see what Bo Henning has to say about his analysis of that quarter.
All right, I want Kevin 1, Mike 2. Hey, look, he's forcing you to use the left side of court. Use the left side of court. We don't have any set side, right? Brad is 3, Dave is 4, Shu is 5. Okay? Fellas, I don't care who it is. This part in the season, we got to be able to execute our offense. You got to know where you're going, okay? Who had 13 on that last series? All right, concentrate on the defensive end. If you make offensive mistakes, you cannot bring them down to the defensive end. You're only going to play in short spurts, so run the court hard, okay? Now, they're starting to get out on us on the break. We should be the team breaking. Hit the offensive boards. They're not blocking anybody out. Hit the offensive boards, take it back up there strong. Okay, and execute your darn offense. All right? We got a lot of times guys are trailing our postmen, whether it be the break or the cutter off the flex cut and open. Guys on his back, give it to him. Play inside out. If they don't rake down, you ball fake somebody, you take it up. All right, let's go. Come on. Come on, fellas.
Okay, both speaking strategy, Jim. He knows they're eventually going to get into the flow of the game, and doesn't seem to be too anxious about it. But again, you can't let a team like the Hawks stay around. As I said, they played North Brunswick very strong. They led Serval late into the fourth quarter, so you don't want to take them for granted.
All right, Frank Powell, who has 2 points, was with the ball. And a shot off the rim by Lamb. Caruso comes down with it. And Seymour still in there. Excuse me, that's James. This is the starting team, I believe, except for Schuler is in for Varela. Boy, it looked like a good block from here.
It did look like, and Randy Westrall is up on his feet saying, what do you want? Nevertheless, Brian Schuler will go to the line to shoot 2.
Fouls charged to Crawford, his first.
And Brian Schuler, a 6'3", 180-pound junior, and has contributed well all year.
And he hits the first. Extends East Brunswick's lead to 11-8. We are underway in the second period of this game between East Brunswick and Stevens. Ball goes off the rim on the second shot. But if there's one thing that East Brunswick has been doing well tonight, it is somewhat controlling the boards. And we have another foul here as a result of Tresca getting the rebound. And that one is charged to who? Number 5. That's Lane with the foul. Each team with 3 T fouls. Tresca to the line. And he has been improving as the season has gone along on his foul shooting. And Tresca makes both, and that makes the score 13-8. So East Brunswick, after giving up the lead, has come back to score the last 7 points. And now leads 13-8 over the Hawks. Ball movement by the Hawks. And we have somebody new in there, Tashawn Palmer, who's 6'5".
And was not able to hold on to the ball.
Right. Treska, inside move, bounce pass.
He took a step.
Well, Treska was looking for that.
Well, a little delayed dribble, like
Right.
he pulled it up. The official called him with a step there. Treska saying, I'm still dribbling the ball. And Bo's looking at him as well.
Yeah. So what do they call here? Could that be a makeup call, Phil?
It could be anything, but a different official called it.
So that is Crawford's second foul. James dribbles across the line, past the Vangarud. Good ball movement now. Treska was open for a moment underneath. Caruso from way out. Off the rim, but again, Mike Treska with the rebound. Yeah, they're going to call Caruso for steps.
Well, Jim, it doesn't appear anybody seems to be terribly focused.
Well, that's what happens. And you heard Henning in the huddle. He says, you know, this, I don't care what kind of team this is. At this time of year, you have to be able to execute.
You should be start playing sharp because you're getting ready for the county tournament. And you want to look sharp regardless.
Powell. Davis with the ball. Dribbles inside.
Oh.
And a late call on the offense.
Delayed whistle, I tell you. The referee, Rich Jones from Linden, making a delayed call there.
What I like to see from an official is decisiveness. And we've
right
seen
on
a couple times where they've just sort of looked at the play and then made the call.
And I think that's what Randy Westrol's sort of saying.
Treska thought about it. 5:25 left to go in the second period. Here's a three-point shot. Swish.
And Treska's second three of the night gives him 10 points.
Right, leading scorer for both teams. And now the score is 16-8 in favor of East Brunswick. Whoops. And almost a save. Yes, it is. But
Treska's still on the ground. They call it for a throw, and Bo's beside himself. Right in front of him, Treska's on the ground, but he's still dribbling the ball. And the official calls him for a walk-in, Jim. Bo can't believe it. And
we have a timeout here.
Randy Westrol calling a timeout here. Bo looking up to the official now.
And they're talking about it.
They have a difference of opinion, that's for sure.
Well, are the officials allowed to have an off night as well?
I suppose so, Jim, but right in front of Bo, and Bo saw it clearly.
All right, things have changed decisively in East Brunswick's favor. They lead 16-8 now with this timeout, and we will listen in on Bo Henning.
Great hustle. All right, they're getting a little frustrated that they're not making shots, so they're trying to take the ball to the basket, right? We got to play 21. Got to play 21 out of it. Make sure we keep it out of the middle and we limit it to one shot. Now, down there, that was a 1-3-1 load set. 1-3-1. So it's only when it goes down to Shu or Dave, whoever the baseline man is, that we cut somebody through, okay? But it's not load until it goes to the baseline. If you get a good look on the wing, you take it. And use your high post. Use your high post against that, okay? All right, let's go. Come on.
Sounds like Mr. Henning is battling a cold.
Like you, Jim.
Yeah, it's tough night all the way around. Okay.
But they're up right now, 16-8, so they've opened it up a little bit, Jim.
Right, and it's more of being a little bit more heady about what they should be doing. I think that's turning around for East Brunswick. So this is Powell, who has been in nearly the whole game, I believe, and Palmer, the 6'5" junior. Davis looks for Powell, finds him, takes a step out, and makes it.
And Mr. Powell is on his game.
Okay, that's his second basket.
Second basket.
Right, the score is 16-10 in favor of East Brunswick. Pass goes off a Stevens player. A lot of youth in here for J.P. Stevens.
Well, if that's what Randy Westrow's hoping to build on, you know, he knows he doesn't have the talent this year, and he's lost some people, Jim. I'm going to talk about that really hurt him.
Caruso, and they bop it around. Won't go in. Rosenstrauss has had a couple going in and out. That was Schuler, however. Powell sets right up. And James finally comes down with it.
And Palmer needs to have some hands. He's a big man, 6'5", but doesn't appear to have strong hands.
Tresca out to Caruso. It's going to be way short. Mike Tresca, how many rebounds has he had tonight?
Palmer on the block and Bangaroo with the rebound.
Mike Tresca has played a strong game for the Bears. Batted away. Bounce pass.
A beautiful pass.
And that was Mitch Stein. And I think I'm going to call him for traveling.
He just lost it,
No,
Jim.
he called a timeout.
He
Just
called
in
time.
time.
I didn't think he had possession.
Yep. And again, that's, yeah, he was on the floor with it.
And I'll tell you, Jim, if we can take a look at Randy Westroll right now, coach has been around for 8 years. It's hard to believe. A devotee of Coach Candelina up at Elizabeth High School, where he was an assistant for 6 years. And he said, listen, we've just been hurt. For one, they lost a player to St. Peter's, a player by the name of Randy White. And Randy White is lighting it up for St. Peter's right now. They had a super freshman they had, which they lost to Wardlaw. And then they had a very good player, Babbage, who decided he was going out for track. So, you know, it's just depleted his team. And he says he's not complaining. Basically, he wants to build with these younger players and hope to come around. And as I said, if he's been an assistant for 6 years under Candelina, he knows basketball.
Well, you remember the wars that were waged between East Brunswick and J.P. Stevens.
That's right.
In particular, I remember the 1988, was it, or 1986 Greater Middlesex Conference Championship won by East Brunswick over J.P. Stevens.
And then J.P. Stevens came back in '92, Bo Henning's first year, with Tony Newsom and spanked the Brian Forte led team.
Okay, I'm going to think about that one for a second. All right, Brian Forte in '92.
Well, let me make a 89.
Okay, we'll talk about, yeah, there you go. All right, so Stevens trailing 16-10. Powell has not been afraid to shoot tonight. A couple of new faces in for the Hawks. Drives to the basket, and a good shot by Jamil Davis. And here comes Stevens again. Foul is charged to Zukas, who is in the game now for the Bears, seeing his first action of the evening. And there you see Jamil Davis looking to convert the three-pointer, and he does. And that narrows the score to 16-13. It's still in favor of East Brunswick. Pass to Vangrud, tipped away. And who comes up with it? What do we got? Ball was out of bounds. And Stevens has really done a good job of hustling here, really denying East Brunswick inside.
They haven't given up, Jim, and they're right in this game, no doubt about it.
Tresca, who's been really the bright spot for the Bears tonight. They pass it around. Vangrud wasn't swatted. I don't know what happened there.
It just slipped out. But let me correct myself, Jim.
Okay.
1988 and 89 season,
right.
J.P. Stevens beat East Brunswick 63-52. That was the Tony Newsom-led team that beat a Mark Harmon and Brian Forte-led team.
Right.
And, of course, you had Brett Charleston on that team as well.
Present-day East Brunswick football coach, right?
That's right.
Okay. Pass to Vangrud, easy shot, makes it.
Goes down.
And East Brunswick back up to an 18-13 lead. And 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the second period.
And while we're talking history, Jim, 1986-87, Frank Knoppenberger team beat a J.P. Stevens team.
And Zukas is going to be charged with the foul. Second one. Well, both of these teams have a rich history of sports excellence.
That's for sure.
And dare we talk about the football
Oh, mercy.
games between these two clubs. Good shot. Nope, doesn't fall. Davis tried that. Varela to Zukas. Tresca takes it inside. No. Caruso looks for somebody to pass to. Under 2 minutes to play here. Almost stolen. Palmer has some good hands there, Phil. He's been wrapping the ball away all night.
He has good hands for slapping it away, but not for controlling it, Jim.
Okay. Vangerud once again gets free underneath. And the Bears are back up to that 7-point margin, 20-13. Shot by Powell goes. He has that quick jumper that you got to be ready for. And the score is now 20-15. Caruso from way out. What do we got here? I think they're going to catch Palmer, I believe. Nope, Mitch Stein.
Okay.
And that is team foul number 6, so the next foul would be a one-on-one situation for East Brunswick. Vangerud. East Brunswick always looking for that shot underneath.
Wow.
There it is again, almost gone. And Stevens comes up with it. That's Powell.
Oh, wow.
Way out.
He doesn't even look for anybody.
Yeah, Westrel didn't like that.
2 guys on the wing, and Powell put it up.
But East Brunswick moves just as urgently. And Tresca's shot goes off the board.
I'll tell you, Tresca is a ball hawk.
He really is. He has been all over the court tonight. And the coaches, particularly Wandy Restraw,
I'll tell you, the pace.
He's contesting every play.
Pace clearly has picked up, Jim.
Inside pass to Vangerud.
And it's stolen.
38 seconds left to go. Stein with it. And are they setting up for one shot? Ball almost got away from Davis. Stein. Over to Smith. Lobs it inside to Palmer, but it not strong enough.
The hands, Jim.
Tresca gives it to Vangerud, who goes one-on-one and makes the shot. 2-1. And that's going to do it. East Brunswick on that last shot by Vangerud ends the period strong and goes up by a 22-15 margin. It was a game that started out real slow, Phil.
It started out real ugly, Jim. Let's be frank. Sort of a mishmash of a game, and the Bears seemingly have come on and found their game, and yet they still only lead by 7 points.
Yeah, certainly not one of their best performances, but enough can't be said for Mike Tresca, who in addition to leading everybody with 10 points has come down with a number of rebounds and has really kept the Bears ahead in this game. So anyway, it is halftime here at East Brunswick High School. J.P. Stevens and East Brunswick, the Bears holding a 22-15 lead. And we're going to take a short break, and we will be back with the second half action after that.
And as we open up, Jim, you're taking a look at Gary Schuler, the dad of Brian Schuler, and you'll see him at all the games, whether it's an AAU game or a regular season game. They're checking out Brian, who's, as I point out many times, is coming along fine, just a junior.
Gary looks in excellent shape himself, as a matter of fact.
He looks like he looks in darn good shape,
Yeah,
Jim.
I want to look like that. Well, my son reaches basketball age.
That's right, 17 or so.
Well, it is. We're about ready to begin the third quarter here, and the East Brunswick Bears are up by a seemingly comfortable 22-15 margin. And I say comfortable because they really haven't played well yet, and we know that they can play a lot better against this J.P. Stevens team that is searching for its first win of the year. So as we begin action, East Brunswick will inbounds on the far side of the court. That is Dave Vangerud, who came through with 6 points in the second quarter to sort of forge East Brunswick ahead. And Kevin James will begin. We mentioned Mike Tresca has had a real solid outing for the Bears. Caruso has not been too successful. He has 1 3-pointer. Vangerud from about the foul line And it rolls through.
That's the touch.
All right. So the score is now 24-15. That is East Brunswick's largest lead of the game. Frank Powell has been the story for J.P. Stevens, playing an excellent game, leading the Hawks with 6 points. And the Hawks looking for a little backdoor here. Palmer cross court to Powell. Went a long way to find that one.
They searched him out. That's for sure.
Yeah, really.
Jim.
And that three-pointer makes the score 24-18 in favor of the Bears.
And Powell with 9 points.
Tresca almost went. And again, the hands from Stevens. Bears will inbounds. Schuler back out to Vangerud. Tipped away again.
Quick hands by Powell. And again, as you look at this team, when you see what Randy Westroth's talking about, the 3 players that he lost certainly would have made a big difference there.
Oh, absolutely. Caruso thought about it. James hasn't shot too much tonight. Has no points. Schuler comes down with it. Tresca.
Oh, good
pass.
Feed, I'll tell
good
you.
pass. And Vangerud has 10 points. And I think he has scored the last 10 points, if I'm not mistaken, Phil. 26-18.
And
What do we got here?
And they'll take it out on the side. Just the first team foul this half. And that's on Tresca, I believe.
Yeah, his first foul. .620 left to go in the third period. East Brunswick 26-18 over the Hawks. And you can see that Powell's just sort of hanging out there. And I wouldn't be surprised for him to take a dribble, stutter step, and go. Passes to Palmer. Sets up a screen. Lane with it.
Well, you sort of just know this ball's going to end up back in Powell's hands.
Well, they are patient, that's for sure. Yes,
okay.
Ball went off Palmer apparently. And so that approximately 1 minute of ball movement for Stevens goes for naught. Schuler was open for a moment. James in the corner to Caruso. Dribbles, comes up with it, hits.
Caruso.
Boy, if Caruso could make that shot with consistency, that would really cause trouble for the opponents.
Powell.
Once more. And 28-20 is the score.
And Powell at his average now, at about 12 points per game.
I got 13. Oh, you're right, 12 points. They double team Caruso. I think it went off him.
And I'll tell you, Jim, you keep on thinking this is just an 8-point game. Just a few baskets away if the Hawks could put a few baskets back to back.
Well, I think most likely Frank Powell's going to be the one that's going to lead the charge for the Hawks. And if he stays hot, you got to like Stevens' chances getting back in this game. So that shot there by Palmer does not go in. Tresca brings it inside to Kevin James out. Vangerud with an open shot. They've had a lot of open shots because they've penetrated well.
And the Bears maintain control.
Substitutions for the Hawks. James looks inside. He gets a bounce pass, but he's trapped, Schuler is. Tresca was nudged out. Powell's ahead of the field.
Oh, I tell you, and you got to like the way the young man leaped up there.
And the score is 28-22 in favor of East Brunswick. 6-point lead.
I'll tell you, Powell, a small guy. The ball could have easily been blocked. He laid it up very nicely.
Kevin James to inside to Tresca.
And they call a foul on Lane, I believe.
Yeah. I don't believe it was a shooting. Maybe it is a shooting foul.
Treska will shoot 2.
Okay. Treska 2 for 2 on the night. Makes the first. And is good on the second.
Okay, 16 points for Mike Treska.
And brings it back up to an 8-point lead, 30-22. Inside to Palmer, turns around and won't go. He's over the top there, and they're going to call it.
And Palmer not happy with himself there. He must have touched the ball about 4 times, tried to tap it in, and could not put it down.
So Palmer picks up just his first foul. And we're down to under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. East Brunswick holding a 30-22 lead over JP Stevens. Treska, Caruso off the rim, but Vangerud with a nice rebound and puts it home. So Dave Vangerud has, I believe, 12 points, Phil.
12 points.
6 field goals. Score now 32-22 East Brunswick, back up to 10. Shot goes in, nice.
I'll tell you, that's Jamil Davis.
They're hanging tough, 32-25. That was a 3-pointer. And in and out.
And Palmer with a big rebound. And the game's heating up a little bit, Jim.
Powell, who's been the hot hand for the Hawks. Good ball movement, but Vangerud knocks it away.
A steal.
Caruso drives.
Ooh, nice move.
Won't go. Powell did just enough to cause Caruso to change directions in midair.
And once again, the Hawks trailing just by 7. As Zukas we see coming to game, and Schroer, I believe.
Right. Davis, who hit that 3-pointer just a moment ago. There's a shot. This one will not go. Treska looks for an open man. Vangerud,
ooh,
tap pass. Zukas, who's in the game. There's Treska open for a moment. Passes inside to Dave Vangerud, who's fouled.
And there's some banging going on down below there, Jim.
And they will call this on Shaquan Lane, who picks up the 3rd foul.
And non-shooting.
And Lane will come out, take a rest.
As Stein goes in.
Treska inbounds. Long pass to Vangerud, who does play a lot of off guard. Treska sets it up. Won't go this time. Minute 50 left to go in the third quarter. 32-25 East Brunswick. Davis inside to Palmer. What do they got here?
And
Foul.
he raked. And just the 2nd team foul for the Bears.
Right, first one on, that was on Schuler, I believe. Stein inbounds to Powell. Tries to bounce pass it into Palmer, but it won't go. Treska is going to be closely guarding Frank Powell now, Phil. Well, he takes a rest. So James will take over that assignment. You got to watch Powell inside. He has good jumping ability.
That's for sure. So James and Caruso come back in.
They get it out to Palmer finally. And Stein to the middle. Good deliberate offense by Stevens. They're not really forcing things. Powell, though.
Oh, he lost it.
Well, James got a hand in there, and another one. Minute 15. Palmer turns around.
Won't go.
No, he really doesn't have a handle on that shot, looks like. And East Brunswick, with about a minute left to go in the third quarter, really should work for a good shot here. Bennett's taken away by Powell.
Oh, wow. A finger roll. Finger roll.
And all of a sudden, it's 32-27.
Powell with 18 points.
He's had 2 steals tonight that have resulted in baskets. Into Zukas.
And Zukas puts it down.
Momentary lapse by the Hawks. And those are Zukas' first 2 points of the game. 34-27 East Brunswick. They have not trailed in this game. I'm sorry, they did. In the first quarter, Stevens held an 8-7 lead that East Brunswick came back to. And Palmer was apparently not expecting to pass.
And I'll tell you, when you look at Randy Westrop, and he just shakes his head, and those are the type of plays that catch up with you. Poor teams tend to do that. You know, they're right in the game and in a key turnover.
Caruso holding it for 1. 10 seconds now. And gets to Vangerud, out to Schuler. Varela, excuse me. But Zukas.
No call.
No call.
No call.
And that'll do it after 3 periods of play. East Brunswick 34-27. And they're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination.
Sure. All it takes is one run, Jim.
All right, let's listen in on Bo Hanning.
Hey, ball tough the whole game. I know he's quick. Yeah, if you need to, you just keep moving him as well as moving him defensively and keep moving the ball. All right, here's why you got to be active on the diagonal. We're the X's, okay? They're the O's. This wing is responsible for covering 2 things, right? When the ball's in this guy's hands, he's got to cover that block. Now look at that, leaves this guy pretty well open out here. So we punch this seam. Now, ball goes here, instead of being on the block here, get out quick, get in quick, right? On the diagonal, be real active on the diagonal. Sometimes come all the way across. Just realize that when the ball gets swung to your side, you got to sprint out, okay? That's what I'm talking about, being active on the diagonal. Against this 1-3-1, ball fake people. Every time you ball fake, somebody's got to move. Somebody's got to go somewhere, okay? Doesn't always have to be a 3. You could have stepped in 5, 6 more feet, okay? All right, come on, let's go.
Talking to Varela about that last second shot there that did not fall. Could have used a little bit more. Both teams have used players liberally, so you got to imagine fatigue's not going to be a factor.
It shouldn't be an issue here. You got 1 quarter to go, and you got a game that started out very sloppily, turning out to a pretty good game here, Jim.
And this has been the main player for Stevens, number 3, Frank Powell. And you got to believe they're going to be looking to him. Closely guarded by Kevin James, actually backs up a little bit. Stein inside with it, goes up, and
yes.
It falls.
I'll tell you.
Mitch Stein, 5'11" senior, Phil.
I'll tell you, just a nice move there, drove in there.
And his first 2 points make the score 34-29 with a chance to bring it down to 4. Foul is by Zukas, who picks up his 3rd. And Stein rolls in and out. East Brunswick comes down with it. This is James. And East Brunswick needs some points. They need somebody to go to. A lot of pushing going on right now. You watch physical. Palmer and Vangerud.
It's been physical, Jim.
James open.
Oh.
Doesn't go. However, Caruso comes down with it. Varela.
Looking.
Thought they might catch him for
Underneath
travel. Nice
pass.
Vangerud,
I'll tell you.
Very nice pass to Vangerud.
Beautiful assist, I'll tell you.
And Vangerud, I believe, has, what, 14 points?
14 points, Jim.
And East Brunswick goes back out to a 36-29 lead. Tresca's had a pretty good rest. He's going to be coming in. Stein from 3 points off the rim. Rebound. That won't fall. Palmer comes down with it.
Ooh.
And what do they got here? Yep.
Traveling.
Traveling.
And you got to see Randy Restro really beside himself.
You know, Phil, Palmer had position. All he had to do was go up with it, and at the very least, he would have been fouled.
Well, I'll tell you.
Opportunity lost for J.P. Stevens.
Palmer's a junior. Hopefully he'll learn.
Varela, Tazoukas in the corner. Real close guarding. Vangerud. And they're going to catch Vangerud or Tresca, either one.
With a quick foul there. And that's on Tresca.
Yes, indeed. Mike picks up his second.
And fourth team foul for the Bears.
Down to 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. East Brunswick ahead 36-29. They've led most of the way. Powell to Palmer. Stein goes up with it, blocked. Yeah. Maybe shooting a little bit too much.
Here comes Tresca.
Loses the handle.
Ooh, good look. And blocked.
Tresca goes up
and he's fouled.
Yeah. And I believe that was Crawford on the foul.
It's a wild bunch up there.
Oh, yeah.
My buddies.
Tresca.
And he sinks it.
Right. That foul was on Palmer, by the way, who picked up his second. And Tresca's 5 for 5 from the line.
With 19 points, Jim.
And misses that one, but Vangerud with another rebound.
Out to Zukas.
37-29 the score. Tresca drives back out to Caruso with an open shot. Zukas, nice rebound.
Had a way to stay with it. And there's Powell being pesky.
And East Brunswick a little bit more deliberate now.
Oh,
good.
Great feed.
Yeah.
Great feed by Tresca.
Well, you know, Palmer committed, and that left Vangerud open underneath.
Vangerud
got 16.
That's right. Just a super feed by Tresca.
8 field goals. And now East Brunswick leads 39-29. I believe that's been their largest lead, or equals their largest lead.
And Palmer taps one in.
Yeah.
For his first two tonight.
Yep. 39-31. Tresca left alone. Caruso, 3 points. Hits. Second three-pointer for him. And I believe they're going to call a timeout here. Yep, 42-31. That is the largest lead for
the Bears have it
Stevens.
going now, Jim. And we talked about heading into the county tournament, how you want to be playing, and they seem to have it going right now.
Well, let's talk about the GMC tournament a little bit. We were having some discussion as to who the top seed might be in the tournament. We talked about St. Joe's as possibility.
I'll tell you, John Haley had an article about basketball being down in Middlesex County, and then you can see how CBA crushed St. Joe's and the thought of them being the #1 seed. But then St. Peter's has been spanked also, and Perth is an interesting team.
Yeah, they are.
They very well can't be #1. I think it's probably got to be St. Joe's.
You see what they did to Piscataway the other night there? Won handily.
Well, you don't know.
What's wrong with the Chiefs?
The Chiefs, hard to figure out. Paul Schob will get them together around tournament time. But talking to Bo Henning the other night, he feels his Bears team has as good a chance as anybody for the county tournament.
I have to agree with him. I would say this is probably the most open tournament in quite a few years, where you usually have maybe those first and second seeds, possibly the third and fourth with a chance. But there's a lot of teams. Saraville,
right? And what about North Brunswick? We really haven't seen them play, but you heard a lot about them.
Right.
And then Bo throws in something. What about a Highland Park? I mean, come on.
Yeah. You're right. So it should be interesting to see where the seating committee winds up. I would like to be a fly on the door of that, listening in on that one, because there's going to be a lot of politicking going on. Well, anyway, East Brunswick now has a 42-31 lead with 4.5 minutes left to go in the game. And another errant pass.
I'll tell you, right through Palmer's legs.
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw a pass like that to a big man where he's got to go down for it.
So East Brunswick should be very deliberate here. No pressure by Hawks. And again, they're not really going after Caruso. There's Zukas underneath.
And he draws the foul.
Right. And that's what he wanted to do.
Okay, and Doug Zukas goes to the line, Jim, and you got to admit he certainly looks better than when we saw him in Linden on that ankle there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can see why he is an important player in Bo Henning's scheme, because he has come down with some good, strong rebounds tonight and really fits in there well. Zukas misses on the front end of a two-shot foul, makes the second, and the lead is now 43-31 East Brunswick, just under 4 minutes to go.
Randy Westrel still clapping and still exhorting his team.
Powell has been quiet in the fourth quarter. What do they got here?
They got a reaching foul, Jim.
Right. Not a shooting foul. So
that's on Tresca again.
Right. Mike picks up foul number 3. Powell.
Powell.
Over everything.
Another reach-in.
Palmer.
Wow.
That's what it is.
They called it against J.P. Stevens on Palmer, and Randy Westrel does a pirouette. He couldn't believe it.
Is that what that was?
A pirouette.
Okay. Stevens forced to be very aggressive now. They have to go after the ball. Down, trailing by 11 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. East Brunswick does not need to force the ball in.
You'd think the Hawks would come out a little bit more, Jim, and gamble.
Right. Caruso, three-point shot, won't go. Tresco with a rebound, however. Bangaroo puts it up.
Ooh, he's hammered too.
Yeah.
Bangaroo yells out, puts out a yell there.
Well, he has had a heck of a game.
That's for sure.
I count 9 two-point shots for good for 18 points, and now he goes to the line. Yeah, goes to the line here. By the way, that foul was on Shaquan Lane, which is his 4th.
And I'll tell you, he's one of the state better volleyball players, and you saw him get up right there. It's almost like spiking one.
Yeah. Bangaroo picks up his 19th point to take the lead in the scoring. Scoring has pretty much just been divided between Tresca and Dave Bangaroo. Score now is 46-31, and things are starting to look bleak for the Hawks.
Ooh, some bodies have tumbled there. And official Rob Gianatelli rushes right in.
Well, I guess they're going to call Caruso on that foul.
I thought he said 55.
Yeah, it's Caruso.
That's Caruso, you're right.
Yeah. And Bangaroo with a nice steal.
Oh, good pass to James.
Tresca with the follow-up, won't go. Bounce pass, and a real hard foul.
Mercy.
And you got to watch it now.
I'll tell you, because that's the second hard foul there.
Yeah.
And you don't want tempers to get flaring. Randy Westrel out on the court, both looking with his arms folded, and Brad Caruso saying, "What's the problem? I just fouled him."
And they call it deliberate.
And you're here in the Bear Den, but you want to pick your spots when you do a foul like that, because it can incite people.
Davis makes the first.
And Bo Hitting still looking with his hands folded, and he's looking at Brad.
So, Davis makes both shots, and Stevens will inbounds.
And Bo's looking at him, but he didn't take him out.
Right.
Which is his way of not showing up the player.
Well, they take Palmer out of the game now. Interesting. Powell could use a three-pointer right about now. And I think that's what they were looking for. And Kevin James made that happen. Nice play.
Great defensive effort.
Yeah.
And the Bears are looking to take some time off the clock.
Powell caught with a hand on Tresca.
And Tresca just loves these moments here. He knows the time's running down, and he's going to protect that ball, and he wants you to foul him.
And that'll make a 1-on-1. Well, it was 1-on-1 before. And Tresca, who is 5 for 6 on the evening from the foul line. How many points you have him for, Phil?
I have him for 19, and that's his 20th.
Okay. (47-33). 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to go. Tresca makes the other one, so he has a fine evening from the foul line. 7 for 8 to go along with two three-pointers and two two-pointers. Powell.
Oh, three-pointer.
Excuse me, that wasn't Powell.
No, that's number.
That was Lane.
That's Shaquan Lane with the big three and a quick timeout.
And that makes the score 48-36. And you're going to see a lot of those shots being launched by the Hawks now.
I think they are going to put them up, and Westrow calling for a timeout. He's still coaching.
All right, let's see what the strategy is for East Brunswick.
Shooting, that's not you. That's a tough matchup for you there. All right, Brad, you're back in the 4 now, right? You got the ball out of bounds. All right, I'm sure it's going to be some kind of full man. I'm sure there's going to be some grabbing involved, okay? Right now, we're just going with a 1-2 screen. Get a good angle. Down the court is 5. 4-man has it out, 3 at half court. You're the third option, 3. Good screen. Rub them tight, right? Rub them tight. Now, Doug, hold for a count or 2. If they got a floater here and we got nothing open, yes, you're 3 with this group. Okay, if we got nothing open, then you come breaking hard to an open spot. Okay, we still have 3 timeouts, Amy. All right, they got a small team in the game, and they're going to be looking for 3 now. So extend your 21 to about 3 feet beyond it. Okay, and limit them to 1 shot.
Phil, you hear that Henning wants East Brunswick to pressure a little bit more to deny that 3-point shot.
Right, and he's asking Amy Toma, one of the managers, how many timeouts he has left. Amy being a senior honored earlier in the day.
James, and looks like Lane was caught with the foul, and I believe he is fouled out. Let's see what. I'm going to register that foul. I'm quite sure that was that a foul or a timeout?
It was a timeout.
No foul.
And that's.
All right, let's listen in on Henning.
Look that we talked about, okay? And the last 2 guys are going to be David and Mike. So Brad's got it out. Doug, Kevin, right? You 2 guys are going towards our defensive end. Take the floater with you, right? 5 screens for 2. You got the whole court to get open. Whichever way he goes, Dave, you come opposite, right? If it's a quick return to Brad, make sure we're strong with it. Now, it looks to me like they're going to be hacking and doubling, so you're probably going to have to go Kansas, okay? Fill the high post. If they give us a good scoring opportunity, take it. Otherwise, keep the ball moving, okay? If we make a mistake on offense, do not bring it down to the other end. Get your matchup.
Teaching his team to be quite focused and not to let mistakes bother them at the other end of the floor.
I hear you. 1:59 left, Jim, so we'll see.
Well, East Brunswick with the ball. So that is going to put Stevens in a position of really having to foul unless they can get the steal here.
Bears clearly taking time off.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Trying to draw the foul.
Good job, doing a good job at it as well.
Excellent job of moving the ball around. A reach around by Powell.
Right. So that's going to bring Tresca to the line with 1:34 left in the game. Again, East Brunswick up by 12 points.
And Tresca one time at 56% shooter from the line, but the last 3 times we've seen him, Jim, he's had to go up considerably.
You bet. 7 for 8 tonight. And off the rim. Here comes Stein. Goes off his hand, however, and
James runs it down.
Right.
And Stein reaches in and fouls James.
Right, that was not Stein that lost the ball, by the way. That was number 12, Keith Ayers, in the game.
And I'll tell you, you take a good look at Kevin James. Here's a young man that's really come in and done the job. We sometimes take him for granted. I mean, Whalen ran the offense last year, and they've had a lot of fine ball handlers, and James has come in under with this 1 year of varsity and has done a tremendous job of at the point.
And believe it or not, that's the first point for him tonight, only point. Vangru follows up on the rebound, however, and
give him 21.
Yeah. So he overtakes Tresca for the scoring lead.
Well, Tresca has 21 as well.
Okay. And they have 40. So they have 42 of the 51 East Brunswick points. And the score is 51-36.
And Powell not giving up, trying to make something happen. He came with the fancy spin there, tried to get to it, eventually drew the foul. And Zukic comes out and gets a handshake from Bohenny. Seymour back in the game. Tresca comes out, gets a handshake, and Rosenstraff in the game.
Looks like Vaughn was caught with that foul. Anthony Vaughn, number 21. And I don't see him in the game, so I don't think they registered that foul on the clock. Nonetheless, it was by Kevin James, I'm sorry. So Powell makes both shots, and it scores now 51-38.
And James is fouled once more.
Right. The Wild Bunch up there won't quiet
Wild
down,
Bunch, I'll tell you, the Wild Bunch is wild tonight. Always good to see them here. I'll tell you one thing about the Wild Bunch, it's always clean, and
that's true.
And they're supporting their team, and you like to see that.
James makes the first. (52-38), and is no good on the second, but they get the rebound, however. And more foul.
And James goes to the line again. And I just want to reiterate, Jim, because I don't think we give Kevin James enough play. The young man has done a fine job. They're going to need him going into the counties because there's going to be a lot of pressure defense. He has a good handle on the ball and has done a good job under trying situations here.
So it is 2 shots for James since this is the 10th foul. And he is good.
Nice stroke.
Foul charge to Stein, his third. 53-38. And 54-38.
And the Bears 3 points above their average right now, Jim. Came in averaging 51.3 points per game.
Substitutes ready to go in for East Brunswick.
Ooh.
And Vangru gets nailed.
And the Wild Bunch were on their feet. I think they were looking for a dunk. And Vangaroo, as you pointed out, was clipped.
All right, I was afraid of this. We have some players that we do not have numbers for East Brunswick, and that can mean that the JVs. Well, so if you can help me out on this.
Okay, we got Alan Baracco.
Okay.
Is one, and
number 14 is the one that I'm having a little trouble
Damon
with.
Hart.
Okay, good. Bangarud here. Now he can take the lead in the
He
score.
can take the lead in scoring.
And does with that shot.
And Bo Henning would be the first to tell you it's not important who's the leading scorer.
What is important is on the scoreboard.
That's for
55
sure.
to 38, East Brunswick ahead. 50 seconds left to go. And Bangarud sinks both, 56 to 38. He will go out of the game.
Okay, a well-deserved hand.
Right. And it looks like
Chris Gamboa.
Right, Chris
coming into the
Gamboa.
game. 6'3", 200, 220. Take your choice. Looks more like 220.
Powell from outside won't go. Ayers, no good. And Hart comes down with it. He's fouled, so he will have a chance.
To go to the line to shoot two.
Okay, it looks like Lane will foul out on that one. And J.P. Stevens will go down with another defeat, and they call a timeout.
They call a timeout. Well, Jim, there's a lot of things a coach can say in a timeout there.
Well, let's hear what Henning has to say, as long as he has time to talk.
Okay, they got a lot of little guys in there, so you got to be playing D about a foot beyond the three-point line at least, okay, a step beyond it. Right now, Doug Hurley has it out of bounds. The screen will be between you two guys to get it in. Be real strong, because I know you're going to get grabbed and hit, okay? And limit them to one shot. You got to have a bad matchup. I think they got all little guys out there, okay? All right, and up in the offensive end, we don't want to freeze it. If you can score out of it, you try and score. But take good shots, not bad shots, okay? All right, let's go.
But actually, I don't think he said anything new.
Okay, let's see what we got in there. We got Gamboa, Hurley, Baraka,
Hart,
Hart,
and Seymour.
and Seymour. Okay.
And there's 37 merciless seconds left in this game. 56 to 38 is the score. It's a comfortable 18-point margin for the Bears. And we mentioned that Lane fouled out on that.
And Damon Hart at the line. Take a good look at the young fella. 5'10", 150-pound junior.
And Hart makes it.
And nice stroke for Damon.
And sinks the second as well.
Okay, here comes the Hawks up, 34 seconds left. And Powell, of course, with the ball, drives to the hoop, finger roll again.
So Powell makes it.
And how many points do you have him for, Jim?
Well, take me a second.
Full court pressure
17,
now.
17 points.
Okay.
And you would think that this is a three-point game here, the way things are going.
I'll tell you, they've turned up the heat.
58 to 40 is the score.
And a quick foul on Lane.
Powell's going to probably go with it. Turnaround shot. And it won't go.
And
Good
a nice basket,
follow-up
I'll tell you.
by Davis. He's had himself a quality game as well. He's just a sophomore, isn't
They
he?
have some young players that are going to come around, Jim.
And with 1 second to go, they call a foul.
And Randy Westholt just waves his hand saying, come on, let the game be over.
Right.
I can't believe you called that foul there.
Well, it does let you know that the officials are not clock watchers. And looks like Jameel Davis, the sophomore, will foul out as well.
And Damon Hart gets some more time at the free throw line.
Right, shooting two.
That's right, the 10th team foul.
Makes it.
I'll
It's
tell
3
you.
for 3. I'll tell you what, East Brunswick has enjoyed an absolutely sterling night from the foul line.
And I tell you, when you get to the counties, that's exactly what you want, Jim. Make those free throws.
Right, sinks that one as well.
4 points for Hart.
60 to 42, and I will write that score down as it does not go, and we're waiting for the score clock to be turned off before I'm turned off. And the final score, East Brunswick winning kind of handily in the late going there. They sort of extended themselves nicely, winning 60 to 42. Phil, just a quick analysis on the game.
Well, I tell you, the Bears finally made it a game. I mean, it started playing some of the ball that you like to see. I mean, granted, the Hawks came in as a team that is down this year, but East Brunswick has to be thinking about playing the type of ball that that they have to play if they're going to be ready for the counties. I think they got to get a little bit sharper, Jim. Maybe they were playing up to the competition. But if they're going to get serious, they got to be hitting on all cylinders. And I'm not sure that's happening just yet.
Right. Okay. Well, the next two games quickly will be this Thursday. They will travel to play an Edison team that you got to watch.
You got to watch. That's for sure.
They've won a couple of upsets, and then finally Piscataway, who's believe it or not has 7 losses right now, but hard to believe. But and then we'll get into the GMC. So that's going to wrap it up tonight. The final score: East Brunswick 60. J.P. Stevens 42. East Brunswick extends its record now to 13-7. J.P. Stevens falls to 0-17. So that's going to do it. So for Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.